Right, bit of an unboxing video, very impromptu, wasn't expecting to do this or planning on doing it at all, but this arrived today. It's the Helios 1000 scale Enterprise D kit that they sort of recently announced that they were doing, and it's basically their 650 kit shrank down to 1000 scale. So a kit of this size for the Enterprise D has been long called for fans, so I have no doubt that this is going to be a pretty popular kit for them. Now I've only got this kit so I can develop a set of paint masks for it. What I'm hoping is that they've literally just shrank their 650 files down to 1000 scale and printed them without changing any of the major sort of contours and features, because that'll make my life a hell of a lot easier. But anyway, I'll get into the ins and outs of it a bit later. So just for now, let's see what's inside this box. As you can see, I haven't opened it. There's plenty of tape on it. So let's see about getting this thing open. Right. Took the teeth right off that saw. I had to use a box cutter. Anyway. Pretty nice packaging, as we've all sort of come to expect with Helios. I know they had a bit of a blip with some of their, I think it was the Excelsior kits that they changed their packaging for it, hoping that that they would get from the supplier to the customers, and they had some issues. So they've gone back to this custom cut foam packaging, which is understandably a lot more costly for them, and it adds to the cost of the kit, but you know, it's a bit of a no-brainer. That's, you know, you want this sort of packaging really, because these kits aren't cheap. What's in there? Oh, okay. What have we got? Okay, so there's shuttle bay interior, facade collectors, there's a bridge, just little greeblies basically. Looks like there's docking ports, torpedo? Not sure. Lots of bits and bobs. You'd think I'd know, because I'm kind of familiar with the Enterprise D, but yeah. Oh yeah, shuttlecraft and stuff like that. Perhaps they're details for the shuttle bay then. Yeah, let's go with that. Yeah, it's not like the D is covered with greeblies on the outside of it. Although in Generations there were some tiny little pieces scattered over the surface. Anyway, so yeah, facade collectors and assorted bits. Nacelles. It looks like the packaging, from what I remember, now I didn't buy a 650 kit, but I was very kindly lent one by Andy Casey at Scale Electronics when I was developing the paint masks for the 650 kit. From what I remember, the packaging wasn't too dissimilar to what I'm seeing now, so that bodes well with my hopes that this is the 650 kit, just with some tweaks for scaling and engineering, but the actual sort of contours and features aren't any different. Because if that's the case, it's going to make it a hell of a lot easier scaling the paint masks down, which would be nice. Alright, so I'm not seeing any major problems. There's a little bit of fragmentation where there's a little bit of lost detail. I can't see the screen on the phone, so I don't know if you can see what I'm pointing at, but there's a little bit of fragmentation on the edge of the rim of the main impulse engine, but I don't mind about that, because I think the way that they sort of post-process these prints is they're tumbled in an industrial tumbler, so they sort of all of the grow lines, all the layer lines are sort of eroded away while they're being tumbled in an abrasive powder. That's my understanding. That's what I've been told, not by the manufacturer. That's just what I've heard. So whether that's true or not, I don't know. Anyway, so that's the upper secondary hull. That's looking pretty good. No space. Let's look at the nacelle. These are pretty pretty thin, but they're well printed. I think from memory these look different. The engineering, I'm not going to be able to tell you the ins and outs of the differences really, because like I say, I don't have a 650 kit, and I only borrowed one sort of short term, so I didn't build one or anything like that. The interesting sort of approach to the warp grills, the chiller grills on the nacelles, so they're pretty flimsy. I wouldn't necessarily go that way, but it's an interesting sort of choice to tackle it that way. But anyway, yeah, nacelles look okay. Not seeing any massive damages or nothing to worry about really there. We can go back in there. Kill plate. This is a bit scattershot, sorry, I don't do unboxing videos. Kill plate. Yeah, that looks fine. Getting the formation strobe drilled through there is going to be fun. Oh, it looks like there's... Oh no, they've allowed for it again. I can't see if you can see that, but there is an allowance to get at that. They've drilled through this block, and so you've got like a clearance channel, like a tunnel basically. But how easy that is in reality, anyone's guess. Yeah, anyway. So that's okay. Oh, there's a little bit of a bend there actually. Now seeing it. Yeah. Nothing a little bit of warmth and a bit of coaxing can't put right. Not too worried about that. And it won't affect my purposes or my needs. So that's fine. The pylon wing, again from memory, this looks exactly the same sort of engineering method as the 650 kit. There's some wiring channels. Can't remember if there were two already in the 650 version or whether that's a different arrangement. Don't know. But that looks fine. The other nacelle, I suppose I better take that out and have a look at it. Yeah, I can't see any damage, that's all good. Fine. So I was cutting the video together and then I realised I didn't actually come back to this little bag of bits, so I'm just splicing this in here. Just there's no good place to put it basically, but so here is a look at all the little pieces that came in that bag. I've noticed there are a few issues. First one being, although it's sort of, you don't really notice it on first sort of look, but those Saucer Impulse engines, I've actually got two port sides, not a starboard side, so although they look almost sort of bisymmetrical, they're not. If I turn that one around, you can see it doesn't look right. So that isn't a starboard one, neither is that. That's a port and that is a port, so I've got an issue there. So there's that. I need 6 of those short phaser strips because there's 4 on the very rear edge of the pylon wing, top and bottom, and then you've got the 2 that sit on the top of the secondary hull, like the dorsal cobra head. That's fine. So I'm missing one of those. I'm missing one of these longer strips that sits on the elbow, on the lower elbow, the bend basically of the pylons, the warp pylon wing. So I'm missing one of those as well. There's some weirdness going on with these clear domes. That's sort of in the file by the looks of it, or if they're molded, or I don't know, they might even be like injection molded. I'm not sure, but there's some weird stuff going on there. But again, I'm not that bothered about it. But the missing pieces and that part being a port rather than a starboard, that is a bit of an issue. and then these really tiny pieces. So yeah, all of those are details, like in the center screen there. Those are all details for the shuttle bay. So there's a ton of cargo, different bits and pieces. I've got 2 of the upper rear photon torpedo covers, although they're nowhere near the shape they should be. I've got 2 of them anyway. 4 shuttles, although that one looks like it got smashed into the back wall by a cadet or someone and crashed it, so he's missing his nose. Again, not a biggie for me. There's the deflector dish, which is, it's quite nice. Again, I'm not sure, it looks like it might be injection molded, but it's quite nice, but it's a wacky shape. But again, like, accuracy isn't the name of the game for this video, but it's just worth bearing in mind that the deflector isn't that shape. But anyway, so there's that. And then I suppose lastly, oh no, one more thing, a couple more things really. So I've got some duplicates there of the clear lenses. Interestingly, the sorry about the shaky cam. Interestingly, these 2 aren't quite the same shape, so I'm not sure what's going on there, but it is what it is. These are the nacelle nav-light clusters that sit on the back. If you build in the Generations version, you want to add those. If not, you just fill in the depression, because it wasn't in the TV show version. And then finally the bridge. Now I'm pretty impressed with this. It's tiny. There's my finger. That is a tiny bridge and conference room, and the details are pretty good actually. You can even see the separation in like the seat backs that was there between the cushions. So yeah, pretty good. The horseshoe looks nice. And there's pilot ops. Apologies for this, I'm not a cameraman. And yeah, there's the conference room tables and chairs. So all in all, although a mixed bag, there are some issues. Pretty nice, but again, it's all sort of academic, because I didn't buy this kit to build or keep. I bought it to make the paint masks. So yeah, I might have to reach out to Helios about these parts problems, the missing parts and the duplicates and things like that. But other than that, back to our regular scheduled program. And here's the saucer. There we go. Yeah, there's a little bit of surface sort of wobble, and yeah, if any of you have built the AMT 1400 kit, which I'm sure more than 1 or 2 of you have, you'll be aware that the saucer is also sort of wavy. Getting the same thing with this, but it's just such a difficult shape to try and maintain at that thickness. Yeah, it's a problem. So one difference you'll see is on these version 2 designs, and as far as I know, they've done this on their 650 version as well, the version 2 sort of iteration of the design, rather than just have a row of holes that they sort of pre-printed so you could light up the phaser effect. What they've done is created a trench there, and the idea is that you bury a strip of LEDs into that trench, and then you lay the phaser strip. You can see it's taped next to it there. You'd lay the phaser strip over that, and that does all of your labour for you, you know, like most of it. So that's a problem solved, so that's nice to see. Not seeing any damage. Pretty nice print. I'm not going to get into the ins and outs of accuracy, other than to say that there are some very questionable window layouts, particularly here and here, but I'm not getting into that. Accuracy isn't the name of the game on this particular video. So that looks fine. And then finally, the lower saucer. There's a little bit of blow through where the print, the material is just, either it didn't print anyway in the first place, or it did print, but it was so fine and thin that during that tumbling process to clear off and smooth away all of the layer lines, it's blown through the material, and it's happened there as well, a little bit there. So that's either a misprint or it's part of the post-processing. Again, I don't care about any of that. These things come in pieces. You're supposed to do a bit of fixing. I'm not going to start throwing my arms in the air about these things. It's part of the course. It's not a paint by numbers hobby by any means, so I'm not worried about that. And that's interesting. There's little supports in between these larger dormer windows. Again, broken record guessing here. I don't know whether you can see what I'm pointing at, but these larger square windows, there's a tiny support in the middle of that that's been printed as part of the design by the looks of it, and the same for the front deflector. This is a deflector array for the saucer, if you believe the blueprints. So there's little supports there. I don't remember those being there on the 650. I could be totally wrong, but I don't remember them being there. So that's pretty good. Other than that, not seeing any more problems. Same trench design as the upper saucer. Yeah, it looks pretty flat. The lower saucer looks pretty flat and true. There's no waves or wobbles where there shouldn't be. It's a pretty nice contour. Yeah, nice kit. I think that's it. It certainly feels like that's it. I'm not expecting there to be anything else. I didn't bother buying any of the other parts for it, like armature or decals or any of that, or the lighting kit, because like I said, the idea for me is to use this kit to rescale my existing paint masks that I already produce for the 650 kit. So if you've got the 650 kit and you want a paint mask set, go to my eBay store because they're all on there. But yeah, my plan is to rescale those masks and shrink them down so they'll fit this. And I am hoping, and it does look as though it's the case, but I'm hoping that they have literally just reduced the scale percentage for the kit after making some of these amendments at the 650 size. So it shouldn't be a problem. That remains to be seen, famous last words. So there we go, really quick unboxing. I'm not in this for like clickbait or grabbing views, and I'm not in a rush to be the first. I wasn't planning on doing this, but I thought I need to chop through the weeds and the cobwebs on my YouTube channel anyway, so why not do this, because it arrived on the doorstep today. So there we go. I suppose what I could do is one last little thing is, people like to do size comparisons in their videos, don't they? Oh, I've got this and here's how it is compared to this other version. So I'm going to do the same. Give me a sec. Right, there's a size comparison for you. So that's obviously the 1000 scale nacelle, and for those of you that don't know, this is not a 3D print. This is a casting of the 6-foot studio model nacelle out of the original molds. So that's a nice size comparison for you. And another one just before I go, yeah, there's the saucer on top of a casting of the 4-foot filming model. So there we go. Absolutely no use to anybody, but there it is. So yeah, if you've got this kit, or if you're on the waiting list, or you're on the fence on buying it, again, the 1000 scale, it's a really nice size. It's 2 feet. Technically it is studio scale because they built a 2-foot, ILM did, for the original pilot, and they used it in quite a few shots actually. So if you want to buy this kit and you want masks for it, I am actively developing them for this kit, as I said earlier in the video. So let me know, reach out to me on my Facebook or in comment section or whatever, and just let me know if you're interested, so I can gauge sort of rough idea of like numbers and interest. And everything is now sold on my eBay page, so I don't do direct sales anymore. It's just it's a ball ache. It's pretty tough going sometimes. There's a lot of admin, so I let eBay take the pain away, most of the pain away doing that these days. So yeah, keep an eye out. Hopefully they'll be out fairly soon, because like I've said, I'm hoping that developing the 650 masks to fit this 1000 scale should be relatively straightforward. So there we go. Oh, one other thing I suppose I should mention is I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to do with this kit, because I don't actually I can't see myself wanting to keep it, putting it blunt. But I'm sort of torn, because I'm doing the paint masks, and I really could do with doing an actual proper video instruction of how to use the masks, which means then, you know, ideally you need to paint the model to show the masks being used properly. So yeah, I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it. I may sell the kit after, I may build it and then sell it as a built model. Not sure. Give me some ideas, or if you want it after I've done with it, built or otherwise, let me know, and maybe we can agree a route out of this conundrum for me, because I only need it to develop the masks really at the end of the day. Anyway, enough waffling. Thanks for watching this video. I'll try not to let too many weeds and cobwebs grow over the place again before I get the next one out. Terry's Enterprise D project is active and back on the bench again, after way too long again, so that'll probably be the next video going up. But anyway, I'm getting out of here because it's dinner time, so see you later. Cheers, bye.